to any questions and contributions. And so I'm going to hand over to you now, Tarek.
Hello, good morning, everyone, and thanks for invite us in this meeting to explain in that 10 minutes about housing crisis in Spain and in Catalonia. And if it's possible, start to share the slides, or it's not possible yet. Thanks. Okay, thanks, Tanya. And for the follow slides is like it's like an introduction about the political system in Spain and in Catalonia. When we need to analyze the housing crisis in Spain, can go back with the slides. Second, this one. Yeah, thank you. When we speak about housing crisis in Catalonia and in Spain, we speak about a structural element. The actual political system in Spain have a crisis in four sentences, in four dimensions. One dimension is the territorial organization. If you follow the last 20 years in Spain, you can see different independence movement, because Spain have a crisis in his territorial organization, crisis of representation with political parties, monarchy, etc. The third is excessive influence of political parties, because political parties have a much power in the system and in the powers public and the public administration. And the fourth dimension is a social economic inequalities. And in this dimension of crisis, we can speak about the problem of the housing crisis. About the housing crisis, but in this dimension have the problem of racism, of social economic problem in general. Okay, the next one. Okay, and the 4 or 5 big causes and consequences of house crisis in Spain. We can speak about this 5. In difference of Spain, difference of the rest of Europe, Spain no have social housing or public social housing. That's mean the people, when need to get a house, need to go to the private market, and the private market have more expensive and less guaranteed. The second one, there is not a mechanism to stop the private market if the private market go in a dynamic to increase the price of the house. The third one is I don't know if it's correct, the translation on letters, but what it means is there exist prices, and banks have make accumulation of houses, and thus in this sentence, the consequence is the bank have more power to increase the price of the housing. Another problem is the housing for a tourist, because Spain is the second country with more tourists in whole world, and with the Airbnb phenomenon, um, make a dynamic and activity that's um, the house of the normal house of residents go to the touristic use. And the last one is there is not the legality of Spain doesn't protect the people to get in a house. And the follow slides have some statistical data about these five causes and consequences. The first one is the comparison with the social housing in Europe, and if you said Spain is the last one, have 2.5%. The median Europe is 10%, mm, and if you say Austria, Denmark have more than 20%. The second one is the evolution of social housing in Spain. Uh, if you go back in the time, Spain have a social housing, but with the economic and crisis of 2010, Spain start to sold all his houses, and that's the way explained if you see in the graphic. Spain absolutely sold all his social housing. The second one. Okay. Another causes and consequences of housing crisis in Spain, if you see, is the increase of in one side the price of rent in the orange, and the blue is the price of uh, Buya house. And if you see in the last 25 years, that's increased mm, without non-stop. The second one. Okay, that's the banks, and the banks and the enterprises have much houses of accumulation. CaixaBank, Testa Homes, Sareb, in fact is public, but have a dynamic of private bank. And if you say the data, the banks have more houses than the public administration. The second one. That's another statistical data of housing for tourists in the last years. That's increased without non-stop. And the second one. The second one is another part of my presentation. In the first part, we speak about the analysis and about the consequences. But now in this part, we speak about the response from the people, from the civil society. The movement of civil society and the fighter for right to the house is have two level of organization. Organization in Catalonia and organization in the local area. There is not an organization of whole Spain. because in Madrid have his dynamic, his organization. In Andalusia is another story. And in my part of organization, I will speak about the organization here in Catalonia. Sindicat de Llogateres i Llogaters is the leader of organization in whole Catalonia. I think traduction is 10th organization.
Tenants union or union of rentees, something like that. Tenants union.
Okay, thank you, Andrea. And another level is local unions. But local unions is not part of Sindicat de Llogateres, is autonomous organization. The second one. Okay, the 10th union start to operate in the 2000 and 2000 and 2050 thing or 70, more or less is 8 years is operation in all Catalonia, and with the defense the rights of people who have a house with the rent, and all his program and his ideology is about the last elements we speak as less house for tourists, make some mechanism to stop the increase of the price, regulation of rental price, increase the public housing, and defends the people who will not have a house. And halt is strategy going to the government of Catalonia, the Parliament of Catalonia. If you see the last weeks, there is Sindicat de Llogateres make a big mass mobilization in April of this year and in November of last year with more than 100 people in the streets of Barcelona. And the last one of April, the next day, the principal parties of Catalonia, of the left wing of Catalonia, make an agreement to regularization the rental, the price rental. Second one. The second one is the last label. We speak now the label of Catalonia and the local label. I live in a town is Sal, and if I live in a Sal. Sal is a town have the half of people coming from another countries. And the Sindicat Habitatge de Sal was born in a context of anti-racist fight. In 2021, the Council of Sal bought some houses, but to make an reglement and normative to go in these houses, make some criteria racist, because only if you have a Spanish nationality or one type of document, you can have these houses, but another type of people with another legal status can't have this social housing. And if can pass the next slide. And and this is not, and a part of that, if you don't have a Spanish nationality or one type of legal ID, there is people who living in this house, and the Sal Council start to get out of these people of his houses. And in that context, some people from Sal, including me, start organization with the Sindicat Habitatge de Sal to defend these people to don't get out for his houses, because the main problem of all of this is you getting house because you are an immigrant, and the Syndicat d'Habitatge de Sal is born not strict of housing movement. He's born because he's an anti-racist fight. And I think it's all my presentation. Sorry if my Mediterranean sorry. Yes, the last slide, sorry. But is the main objectives we get with Sindicat Habitatge of Sal. We can change this regularization. Now all people can go in the social house. We can do the teachers of our town start to fight against the racism house fighting, and we make an experiment to call all the immobiliaria. How is the translation, Andrew?
The housing stock.
Okay, we call all housing stock to for say it's a fictitious experiment. We have a house and I want to rent my house, but I say to them, I don't like immigrants in these houses, and all these prices accept this racist condition. And this is another what you say, this is another evidence of racism, thanks to Sindicat Habitatge Sal to demonstrate it. And I think this is all my presentation. Sorry for my Mediterranean English. And now if have questions, I can respond, but I think me and Andrew will make a simultaneous translation.
A double act.
What Tarek
Yeah.
said earlier, I said housing stock is right. Mel said it's estate agents are the immobiliaria he was referring to. Sorry, estate agents. Yeah.
Okay.
But it's private, eh? The immobiliary is not.
Yes. Yeah, that was brilliant. That was really inspiring, Tarek. It's brilliant to see how you've mobilised hundreds of thousands on the street, but really pushed back against the racist policies and actually won. It shows if you get mobilised and united, you can fight back, and especially linking in with the trade union movement and young people who obviously in this country have no memory of having access to public housing, which is obviously what we are fighting for. But I'm going to open it up now. Can I ask people to keep themselves mute, because there is a bit of noise coming back if they're not speaking. But if you can raise your hand to ask Tarek a question or make a contribution. So yeah, I'll just open it up now. So let me see if I can see any hands. Molly?
Thank you for that, Tarek. That was fantastic, really interesting. I wondered, I'm really interested that you talked about the teachers union getting involved in the housing and also more young people. I'd be really interested to hear more details of how your group managed to, get these involved. It's something that we try to do with our housing organisation here, to reach out to the trade unions to support both practically and financially. And I'd just like to hear more about how you manage that in your own area. Thank you.
Thanks, Molly. I'll take a couple of questions and then come back to
Sorry, Maura, could I just
Tarek.
translate that to Tarek in case you need, or did you understand it okay, Tarek, the question? Yeah?
More or less, I understand, yes. If
We'll come back at the end. I'll take a couple of questions. Hi, Jeremy Corbyn's just joined the group. Hi, Jeremy. Thanks for coming along. Appreciate you being busy. Tarek's presented his first half. I don't know if you'd like to say something now or maybe at the end before Tarek comes back.
Sorry, I'm just a bit late joining. Well, thanks very much for organising this. Housing is obviously a key issue for millions of people all over Europe, or indeed all over the world, particularly admiring people in Spain for the brilliant way they fought back against the housing crisis. And we need that same kind of spirit, uniting homeless people, overcrowded housing, and expensive, insecure, private rented as examples. And we need that kind of movement here. So well done you for organising this meeting. And I'm looking forward to listening to what people have to say.
Thanks very much. I'll take one more question and then, because I don't want to overload Tarek with loads of different questions. So is there one more question from anyone? All gone quiet. Marian? You've muted yourself.
Hi, thanks, Tarek. Yeah, I've been following the struggle there as well. And my question is about how you fought off the right wing dominating this struggle, whether it be a case of saying no housing for immigrants, how, obviously you've intervened there, but the process of it, to give us a little bit more detail, because in the present political situation, obviously there is a struggle for who is going to dominate the question of resources, be it housing, be it health, etc. And it's admirable what you've done, and it's just to ask for a little bit more information about what you're doing to make sure that those forces of reaction don't gain any further ground. Thank you for your presentation. It was excellent.
Thanks, Marian. Tarek, before I take any more questions, I'll come back to you to answer those three or make any comments.
No, we can make a last question and get all the and respond all the questions.
You want me just to carry on with the questions, yeah? Okay. I'll take Moira, then Paul Burnham.
Thank you. That was a really informative, thank you, Tarek, presentation. I'm kind of thinking about the comparisons between Britain here with regard to refugees, because the situation may be similar, or even, I don't know, maybe the situation here with us is worse. I mean, my question is, where are refugees housed if they're not allowed to actually have access to social housing? Where are they placed? Where do they live?
Okay, thanks, Moira.
Mm.
Paul? Are you muted, Paul?
Yeah, I was very pleased to see the way that the campaigners in Spain and Catalonia had taken up the issue of racism and the issue of people without legal residence rights, leading to removal of this racist requirement was achieved. That's really, really important. And it struck some chords with me as well, because we've done similar in Haringey in London. When the council had a plan to knock down 15 or 20 council housing estates and redevelop them, they produced an equality impact assessment. When we read it, it said that black people would be disadvantaged, and that if anybody wanted to live in the new homes would have to get higher earnings in new industries if they wanted to stay there. And when we showed this to the chair and the secretary of Tottenham Labour Party, left-wing black comrades, they went absolutely potty, and that really started to push the policies back. Again, they produced a housing needs survey showing that I think 45% of people in the area didn't have any savings. And when we asked for a breakdown by ethnicity, we found what we probably expect to find, that this especially affected black people. And again, this played a major role in pushing the policies back. So the entire policy was abandoned. The council leadership was overturned. 27 councillors were deselected. And basically, the issue of racism was absolutely central to branding that policy as one that's not suitable for the area, doesn't help local people, and should be rejected. Thank you.
Brilliant. Thanks, Paul. Got any other contributions or questions? Tarek, I have one question myself I'd like to ask. One of the central themes for Homes for All is that really the only solution to the housing crisis is council housing, you know, public housing. Decades ago, you know, during the First and Second World War, millions of council housing was built in this country. We've seen over the years since Margaret Thatcher came to power, when she started selling off council housing, an increasing reliance and people forced into private rented accommodation. For your movement, how important is it to make a demand of your government to start building public housing, to start building council housing that are available to everybody? That's my question. If there are no other questions or contributions, I'm going to... There's quite a lot of questions there for Tarek. So I'm going to ask Tarek to come back on these questions if you can.
Yes. I make a notation, and maybe me and Andrew we can make a simultaneous translation, but I try to respond in English. The first question of Molly is asking about the teachers, right? When my local organization, Sindicat Habitat Jasal, start to do activism, some people start to go in the syndicate, and these people is the teachers of school. And these teachers start to organization, but the strategy was different. You not do activism inside a Sindicat Habitat Jasal, you make to do the activism in your job. In your job is teacher. And how this start? The teachers organization inside the public education system. And the first steps of these teachers is to make a pressure on the public education department of the government of Catalonia, to demand that not get out our childrens of his houses. And this is, I think, the main difference and the change of strategy. You know, go inside as activism, you make activism in your job, and your job is inside the system and the public administration. I think the second question of Molly is about the financial of the syndicate, the Yugateras and local syndicates. The syndicate Yugateras, the whole Catalonia, get the money of the people. You pay in the month. You pay in the month some money. It's not it's don't have money from political parties, for public administration, no, all is from the same activism who pay the organization. And the same way is the local syndicates, with the money of the activism, and do activities to get the money. For example, this week we have a Sant Jordi. If you don't know, Sant Jordi is like a national party of Catalonia, and this party you can make a market and vote the books, for example.
Sorry, St. Jordi is the patron saint of Catalonia, and the 23rd of April there is a big celebration in Catalonia, and the people sell books, flowers, etc. in stalls.
And we sold books about the rights of house. And another question is how to fight against far right and all this movement. And its fact is difficult. It's difficult for a local organization. It's difficult, I think, for all of us. But we can make some analysis in the case of housing crisis. And in Spain, the problem, for example, is now I will need the traduction of Andrew, el discurso sobre la ocupación.
It's like a discussion about squatting.
Yeah. La ocupación al final es un problema de la gente que no tiene vivienda.
It's a problem of people who don't have a home.
Y la extrema derecha lo está convirtiendo
The far right is becoming
en un problema de seguridad y criminalización.
a problem of safety and criminalization.
Por eso, dentro del movimiento de la vivienda,
And that's why within the housing movement,
es importante
it's very important
darle la vuelta a ese discurso
that we have this discussion
y situar el problema de la vivienda en la falta de vivienda.
and to connect the problem of housing with the lack of housing stock.
Al menos esta es la contribución que podemos hacer desde el movimiento por la vivienda.
At least that's what we can do from the housing movement.
Thank you, Andrew. Another question is about the refugees people when come to Spain. This is a fact, Spain don't have a social housing, and when refugees come, some refugees can go to the social housing, but another refugees go in the not private, caritative, maybe is the question.
Charities, they rely on charities.
Organization like Caritas, Caritas, the Iglesia Católica,
The Catholic Church.
and another organization of charity, or in the house of familiars, if have familiars, or it's
Other family members' homes.
and it's not a how the refugees don't go in the house, una casa individual, sino en un albergue.
So it's in a host or in a hostel.
Yeah. And the last question is about how important is building a houses. In our organization, we are not defend the building houses. We sí, si no hacemos la traducción.
No
Para
está
no-
bien.
es que para nosotros
For us,
el conflicto no está en que hay que construir más vivienda,
the fight is not about building more homes at the moment,
sino en la vivienda que ya está construida.
but over the housing that already exists.
Porque con los datos en la mano hay vivienda suficiente.
With the data that you've seen, there's actually plenty of housing stock currently existing.
Entonces, lo que reivindicamos
And so what we demand and we want,
que las viviendas sean para vivir.
that the homes that already exist are for people to live in.
Eso implica que existan menos viviendas turísticas cuando son viviendas residenciales
And this implies that there should be fewer tourist homes when we need houses for people to actually live in,
y que los precios no sean tan caros.
and that the prices shouldn't be so high.
El hecho de centrar el problema en la vivienda ya construida
And the fact of focusing this on the housing stock that already exists
es poner el problema en quién es el propietario de la vivienda, que son los grandes bancos.
to focus like a spotlight on who actually owns all the housing stock, the banks, etc.
Además que construir vivienda
And as well as building homes,
es muy lento.
there's a very slow process.
Entonces puede ser que se solucione la tengamos disponible en 10 años cuando el problema lo tenemos mañana.
The problem is that the problem exists now, and if it was a simple matter of building more housing, it would take a longer time, 10 years or whatever. We can actually
Entonces,
solve it now, is what he's saying.
entonces sí que estamos de acuerdo que se tiene que construir, pero que no es el principal problema, sino es una medida de además.
He's saying that yes, we need to build more housing, but actually we can solve the problem now, and we want to focus on finding a solution now to the problem.
And thank you, Andrew, for help me.
Problem.
And the question of Paul, I can't make notes. If you can repeat the question, Paul, of Andrew, if you remember.
So I didn't take a note either. Sorry. Paul, do you want to summarize your question quickly for Tarek?
No, I don't know what to say there. We come back. Tarek, are you okay to not take another couple of questions? Have you got enough time?
Yes, I can.
Yeah. Just on your point, we also agree we've got nearly a million empty properties in this country, and we would like them somehow taken back into public use, requisitioned, but again, that is a massive fight. But I'd like to invite Ashburn Holder to speak if you are unmute.
Thank you. Tarek, can I thank you for the great work you're doing? The question I'll put to you is that given the ongoing report of discrimination facing marginalized African communities accessing social housing in Spain, what specific actions are being taken to implement to ensure fair and equal treatment, and what accountability mechanism exists when discrimination occur against marginalized Africans in Spain.
Brilliant. Thanks, Ashburn. Marion, Robert?
Thanks very much for the talk. I was wondering what the different organisations were doing about Airbnb, because that's becoming a bigger problem in London at the moment. I mean, it's a problem everywhere, raising prices.
Thanks. Thanks, Marion. Paul, are you able to maybe summarise your question, maybe shorten it a wee bit for Tarek, if you're able?
Yeah, I was simply pointing out that the issue of racism that's central in Spain is also central to our struggles here in Britain.
Thanks. Any final questions before I ask Tarek to sum up? Any final contributions? Oh, I can't see any. Let me just check there. I haven't missed anyone out. No, Tarek, I'll come back to you for a final summing up, if that's okay.
Okay, thank you. And the first question is about racism in the housing and how this is impacting in Afro-descendants community. And I think he's asking about the quantified this case. Now with our instrument in our requisites, you can quantify all the racism in all the racism in that side in all Spain. We can quantify in our town. My town Sal is a small town, and we can do the experiment to call the principal immobiliaria is
Estate agents.
and make the fictional experiment to say I have a house and I don't want to rent for immigrants, and almost all of the Asian states say yes, and this is an evidence of racism in housing is absolutely. But we don't have data of whole Spain. It's complicated. It's complicated because it's a big social experiment, and the immobiliaria, I don't remember the name.
Estate agents.
Yes, and no all is can I won't say how say I need your help, Andrew. Sí, que no todas las inmobiliarias caerían en la trampa.
That not all the estate agents fall into that trap.
Yeah. Eso es lo que hace al mercado privado de la vivienda.
This is what the private market does with the housing.
Pero el racismo también está en las instituciones.
But racism also exists in the institutions.
Cada vez que redactan una política de vivienda, hay una perspectiva claramente que obvia a la población migrante.
So could you repeat, Tarek? I missed that.
Yeah. También hay racismo en las instituciones.
So there's also racism within the public institutions, etc.
Cuando redactan políticas de vivienda.
When they're talking about the politics of housing.
Y siempre la redactan desde un punto de vista que obvia a la población migrante.
And they always take aim basically at the immigrant population.
For example, the case of my town, he make a normative and regulation exclude the people who don't have a Spanish nationality, for example. And another question is about the problem of Airbnb. It's right?
I just say, Tarek, just to provide a context, in Salt, where Tarek lives, the far right have had council seats, I think since 2011, first Platform for Catalonia, Vox, Allianz. I don't know if Aliança Catalana have also had councils there yet, but they've had a significant far right representation on the Salt Council for a long time. Sorry.
Yes, and that's explained why the Council of Sal make this racist policy. And the last two questions, if I don't I think I understand right, is about the problem of Airbnb. ¿Es así, Andrew?
Yes, he was asking about the situation with Airbnb and what's been done to deal with this phenomenon and the rising prices.
Sí. Y luego la pregunta del Paul, que aunque ha hablado muy rápido no lo he entendido bien del todo.
No, Paul no tenía preguntas, simplemente un comentario sobre que como en Inglaterra, bueno, en Reino Unido también tiene el mismo problema de racismo en la vivienda y todo esto. Okay.
Okay, about the Airbnb problem, I make Airbnb because it's the reference. The problem of Airbnb is the problem of you have a house, it's house for living, and you can make in your phone in the platform like Airbnb or another platform similar, another app, and that's produce the house of living. The people who have the house, big property, prefer to rent this house to the tourists, to people who live a whole year. And this problem you can see in Barcelona, for example, or in the pueblos costeros, ¿cómo sería?
The houses on the coast, the villages on the coast.
Porque es más rentable alquilar una semana y sacar 1.000 euros un piso.
More profitable to rent your house for a week to a tourist than to rent it all year round for a home for a family.
En lugar de alquilarlo a una familia que te pagará 400 euros al mes.
Instead of renting to a family, for example, for 400 euros a month or 500 euros a month.
And the problem in this case of Airbnb in Spain and tourist use of house is there is no control. The government don't have to control this phenomenon. In the law, this is illegal. But if you can have a control, it's like the law is not the rule. And this is the main problem.
That's brilliant, Tarek. Thanks very much. I just really want to again thank you so much. I want to send your organisations, both your housing movement and the anti-racist movement, solidarity from here. And I think you've helped us with giving a warning to the rise of the far right. We are seeing Reform UK winning local elections, you know, so you've given us a clear warning if we don't start building and making sure we can do everything to stop the far right and the racists getting gains in the local elections. We would love it if, this is a big ask, but on June the 7th, there's going to be a national demonstration in London against austerity, against the cuts. But Homes for All are helping to organise a housing block. It'd be fantastic to have yourselves come and lead that housing block. So maybe that's something that we can chat about again. But again, thank you so much for such an inspiring meeting. And thanks for translating, Andy.
You're welcome.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thanks very much.